to put the dual Sanitronic 80 back together. So I don't do dual Sanitronic old style bags very often. I'm more familiar with the G series and even the Heritage series. So let's see if I can manage to do this without making too many mistakes. Well, since this rear bearing did not have any easy way to grease it, I had to go and get a bearing puller. And in my enthusiasm, when I received it, I didn't go and actually make a video pulling the bearing off the rear of the armature there. But here's this rear bearing, this little washer on it. And one side is, as you saw earlier, come on, there you go. One side is really sealed with like a metal cap, and you don't want to take that off because you're never going to get that back on right. You're probably going to bend it. But the other side, which is why I needed the bearing puller, has this removable side here. And if we take that off, let's see. So you can definitely see the grease in here is thinning out tremendously. There's not much left of it. And it was a little gritty sounding when I would spin this. So we are definitely going to go and rebuild this bearing. brushes back in. Totally smooth in the direction that the fan turns, which is what you want. Okay, this is fixing part of the problem. So here's this green wire here, and it's got a, well, it's broken now, but it had an intermittent and then broken connection right where it hits the brush holder itself. And also here it had an intermittent connection. So between bouncing back and forth between connected and disconnected, between these two areas right here, these two spots where the wire, this green wire connects, that's what was not making this thing run. It could pass some tests, but not others. All right, so now I've got to resolder this connection. And I'm doing it intentionally upside down so that I don't put any more stress on this wire that needs be. There we go. A nice little blob in there. This connection doesn't have to be that pretty, but it definitely has to tin the wire, and it's got to be functional. There. And that fixes that. The dual Sanitronic 80 lives yet again. Low speed. High speed. Now, since we have a working motor, we can put the fan back on. And let's put a new fan back on. See, here's the old fan. And it still works. A little crusty, but still works. And there's a new fan. fun part, maybe the most fun part. This front fan casing, well, let's just say Kirby didn't make them as precisely as they do since the Heritage series and up through the G series. This, even completely sanded, smoothed out both sides, don't fit together all that well. There's noticeable gaps in there. So, gotta get some sealant. And if you do sealant, you need to make sure that it's the right kind of sealant. This is what I happen to like right here, because it handles a wide range of temperatures. And you just go ahead and put a thin bead on, wait 10 minutes, and go ahead and slap them together. This is a brief test to see if everything still works. Yep, looks like everything works. The time has finally come to reassemble the dual Sanitronic 80. It has been apart for months. Wonder if I remember how to get it back together. Where's the hole? Can't find the hole. There we go. There we go. That's it. That's a ticket. Nice. Alrighty. That's tight. That is really tight. Tight, tight, tight. And lastly, we got a cord. So, there it is. Been entirely too long to get it going again, but you can expect lots of tests and also a whole house cleaning as well. Let's see. Briefly. Oh, that sounds nice. Sounds better than when I first took it apart, which is really the whole idea. All right, so thanks so much for staying with me for all these shenanigans. And stay tuned for lots more videos.